if you're going to be educated, a person has to know the difference between credit and debt. And that's why I'm mentioning the demographics, because the average person is not smart enough to handle that. All money today is credit.
Robert Kiyosaki is a genius. I'm going to give you a link to his post. Make sure you subscribe
the power
to him.
To spend. That's
He is
all
amazing.
it is.
You will learn a lot.
So when you have a credit card, there's no money in that thing. They've just given you the power to spend. And the moment you spend it, you create debt.
All right, we're going to talk about those.
Debt is a four-letter word for most people.
That's when you.
There are many people in my position, so-called financial gurus, who say live totally debt-free. And there's other people who say cut up your credit cards. And that's good advice for certain types of people. So you should definitely cut up your credit cards if you can't control your spending.
That was the key. If you can't control your spending.
Well, the reason the rich don't work for money is number one expense is tax. See, there's three kinds of income: earned, portfolio, passive. So earned income is if I get a job, that's earned income.
Number one.
If I'm a doctor or a programmer, that's earned income because I'm working for it.
Most of you will do the rest of your life.
If I buy, let's say, Apple for $10 and I sell it for $20, that's portfolio income, capital gains. But passive income, which is cash flow, is never taxed. So it's not
taxed until you
these guys
sell
are
it.
Screaming right now in America, tax to rich. I said, good luck. Because most of the guys complaining, they don't know there's three kinds of income. And the rich don't have jobs anyway. They have assets. And so the average
assets
schmo
are
out there,
things
poor
you
guy,
own
send
that
the
are
kid to
valuable.
school. They don't learn this. So that's why in Fake, as you were talking about it, there's a newspaper article about Jared Kushner. And he explains how the Trumps and the Kushners don't pay taxes and make millions of dollars. And the reporter couldn't understand him because our schools will never teach you that three types of income.
And that's why I'm trying to teach you this, okay? This is the first course for that, and it's for every individual.
The rich don't work for money. And most people don't understand that because they've already been genetically programmed from parents and schools to go to school and get a job and work hard for money.
There's an easier way to cut down 10
money,
to 20 years of your work life.
And the reason for that is money was designed to steal our wealth. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing because it makes me richer. But like the yin and yang of life, everything has opposite sides. So everything that rich dad taught me was opposite of what my poor dad was a school teacher, good people, but they don't know anything about money. So on one side, my poor dad's always saying, work hard, go to school, get a job, save money, and get out of debt. On the opposite side, the yang side, was just, well, don't do that, So when I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was about the opposites. That's all it was. And the rich don't work for money. The richest people in the world don't work for money. But the average person, that's not part of their consciousness. So you should definitely cut up your credit cards if you can't control your spending. You should definitely. But I don't know how people live without credit cards. I don't know how you can check into a hotel, rent a car, or go shopping and go out for dinner, but you should cut up your credit cards if you're a shopaholic.
You should have a zero balance every month.
And the other thing about debt, there's good debt and bad debt. But the trouble with student loan debt, you can't do that. It hangs around your neck for the rest of your life. So if you're a student, you shouldn't take on student loan debt unless you absolutely 100% guaranteed that you will commit to graduating.
Very good point.
There's always three sides to a coin, heads, tails, and the edge. This is the difference. Everybody can do the same thing I do because the tax laws are for everybody. We don't say, well, the tax law is only for the rich. No, the tax laws are for everybody to use if you have the right financial education. And the reason I'm an advocate of financial education, without that education, you have to pay taxes. Taxes are incentives. The reason I get tax breaks for real estate is because I provide housing. I get tax breaks for providing jobs. I get tax breaks for providing oil. And I get tax breaks for providing food. But But most people see me as a crook. I'm not. The US government wants me to provide housing, wants me to provide jobs, wants me to borrow money, because that's how money is created, through debt. Everybody can do the same thing if they had the financial education to do it. If people understood the tax code, we'd be more prosperous. I don't save money, and I use debt to get rich. I also, in Fake, I read about the infinite return, whereas if the higher your financial IQ, you don't need money.
All right. So what he's actually talking about is you do need money to start with. So it's just not that simple. But you can take money and you can use it and to create actually debt that you can actually go up. Let's give you a great example of something like that. You're going to buy a house, and the house costs $100,000. We'll make it real easy. All right, you're going to have to put some money down as a down payment. And so that's usually around 20%. So let's say you have to put $20,000 down. So you're going to take your $20,000 that you have, but now you're going to own something that is worth $100,000 at the time. So there's a gap of $80,000 that you're going to have to get a loan, and you're going to have to pay an interest rate. So at the end of the interest rate, if it's 5%, you're going to have to pay, and it depends on the amount of years, like, you know, with car loans, they're around 3 or 4 years. But with houses, they're 15, 20, and you can go on adjustable rate mortgages, and we'll have a video on specifically real estate and those subjects later on. But let's think about what that real estate is. What do we see about real estate? If your timing is right and you're buying it lower in the market, and even if your timing is not, you have time to achieve a profit. So therefore, number one is real estate. I'm a real estate broker, and so I would always advocate, as far as passive income, that you first get real estate. Then you can approach stocks and crypto and everything else. So number one, 50% of all your income probably should be generated in real estate. Some of you may be too young for that, so I'm going to discuss other avenues for that. So what happens in 5 and 10 years? Is the house still worth $100,000? No, it's worth $500,000. And you have a loan on it for $130,000. So now you've generated how much? Question, answer. $370,000. And that is how you're making money. Now, if you sell it, you're going to have to pay capital gains, which is something you have to give to the government, like 28 to 35%, somewhere in that range. It depends on how much money you make per year. But even if I spent that out of the $370,000 and I sold that house now at the top of the market, couldn't I do this over again with other houses? So that is how people generate money, by using somebody else's money. But it requires good credit and it requires a job. So you have to have active income as well. All right, let's wrap this up and let's see what he's going to finish with today.
I just borrow money to get rich.
All right, number 2, we have stocks. And over the period of time, if we look at the history of the S&P 500, I'm going to go to TradingView, and we're going to look at something called SPY, which is the S&P 500. And we're going to look at what happens when you invest in the SPY itself. So when we see the SPY over time, which is the S&P 500. Okay, this is the S&P 500. I'm using something like TradingView, and I will have a link in the description below. So what do we see over time? All right, let's say you bought here at the worst time in the market. It would have taken you, and that was August of 2001, it still would have taken you about 6 years to get your money back. Over a period of time, if you had just left it in there over 10 years, you now would have started to see a huge rise in that income. So given a period of time with the S&P 500, you will always make money over a lifetime. And that is what is most important. And that is the most stable way to invest in the stock market. And a SPY index is the S&P 500. And what does that mean? You are buying the top United States 500 companies. You're buying a micro share into them. Now, what happens is you buy into a fund that buys them all for you. and then you buy the S&P 500. So you're getting a block of 500 stocks. So that's why we see over a period of time, when you see that the market goes and takes dips, like what we're doing right now, is becoming a very good time to start investing in the stock market itself. Dollar cost average. Let's say you only have $10 a month. That's fine. Put $10 a month into the S&P 500, and there are ways to do that. Even if it's trading at 426, you can get something called micro shares in it. And so you can just put in a dollar amount every month, and then therefore over a period of a lifetime, it's going to go up. Now, this is really a number 2 method of actually making money over a long period of time. And we're looking at your next 10 years. Okay, so where do you think you want to be in the next 10 years? And this will not be at 426 in 10 years. It probably will be at 600. So that's what we see over a period of time. And we have these sharp changes, like where it went from 200 to 400 in 3 years. So you would have doubled whatever money that you put into the S&P 500. Okay, that's the S&P 500. And that's the most stable form of investing in the stock market. It's the only thing I would recommend for any individuals that are not firmly embedded in technical analysis. And I do have other videos in this program that will show you how to do technical analysis as well, so that we can read how do we know when things go up and how do we know when things go down. These are Fibonacci retracements, and I do teach those and where these line up at certain other points in this course. All right, moving along. Okay, moving along to the third, maybe best method, and one that you might most want to be in if you're a little younger adult. So we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. All right, so I always use coin market cap. It tells me where all the cryptocurrencies are, and we're going to read this chart real quick so that you can understand what it is. All right, so these are ranked by how much actual market cap they have, how much they're worth. And we can see that Bitcoin is worth $448 billion. Okay. Ethereum is worth $225 billion. Okay. And they go down. And so that's how they're listed, and that's how the order is. And these are their call signs, basically how you trade them. These are the 3 letters that you would actually use to buy and sell Bitcoin, if that's what you're using. This is the price at which it is currently. Okay, the 1 hour is how much it's actually gone up or down in the last 1 hour, in the last 24 hours, and in the last 7 days. We also have the market cap. It tells you exactly how much it is actually the overall Bitcoins are worth, which determines this value. This is the last 24 hours of how many Bitcoins have actually changed hands. The circulating supply is how many total there will ever be. And we're at 91% of all Bitcoin are either mined yet or they're already, people own them. So what happens when it gets to 100%? What do you think is going to happen? Prices usually go up over a period of time. This is telling you a chart of what happens over the last 7 days, so that we can see that the chart started up here and went down. So we're on a declining trend, at least as far as this coin is concerned. So we go up and down here. Now, we do have different types of coins. When we talk about Tether or USDC, these are coins at which you purchase so that you can actually purchase other coins. So I hook a trust wallet, okay, to my bank account or a credit card. I put the money into the trust wallet and I buy USDT or I buy USDC. And you can do that on various different exchanges like Coinbase or Binance or Coinbase Pro or FTX or any of these other various ones, which I will leave links to in this video at some point. Now, some of these have uses. International companies use XRP to transfer monies back and forth to pay for goods. And that way they avoid all the taxes and all the loopholes and all the extra fees that most companies charge when they do business. All right. You can see on this that they have buy ratings on some of these, and some of these they do not. That's their opinion of it. There's where Dogecoin is, and it's at 8 cents. And I remember it was at 56 cents. All right. But it's on an upward trend right now. All right, these will give you the top 100. Okay, we're going to talk about one of my other forms of passive income, which is helium mining, which you connect a little device in your house and then you earn these tokens. Now, we buy on red days. We never buy on green days. We buy when it crashes like this. See? So today would be a great day to pick up some HNT, of which I'm going to do right after this video. All right. That's not advice for you. This is not financial advice. This is just education. I am not a financial analyst, nor do I ever claim to be. And remember, invest always at your own risk. I hope you found this video very helpful, and please obviously like and subscribe to this channel. And I will have some questions for you after this video to answer and turn in via the classroom, Google Classroom. All right, have a wonderful and blessed day.